This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, we've got a great show coming up for you next week, but first we're going to get to your questions. I do want to remind you that next week, though, we're getting way back in the Wayback Machine. How about Saturday night's main event 27? This one went down on July 28th, 1990. Such fun stuff here. It's in Omaha, Nebraska. Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura are on the call. The Ultimate Warrior is going to defend his world title against Ravishing Rick Rude. We've got some cool tribute videos about Hulk's glory days and his injury at the hand of the earthquake. We've got Demolition working with the Rockers for the World Tag Team Championship. We've got Tito Santana working with Mr. Perfect for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. And we've also got the Texas Tornado here working with Buddy Rose. That's right. Playboy Buddy Rose is here. And of course, we really start cooking with gas with the Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude and some promos that really sets the pace for SummerSlam and the main event being inside of the big blue steel cage. I'm at the height of my fandom, Bruce. I cannot fucking wait to talk about the WWF and Saturday night's main event from July of 1990.
Not even knowing that we were going to do this, because you know how I pay attention sometimes.
Sure.
I just watched this the other day, and I can't wait to talk about it. Rick Rude. Oh my God.
How do you got all this fucking free time where you're digging through boxes in your basement and watching old Saturday night's main event? But you
I multitask.
Why don't you fucking watch that shit with the sound down and talk about some old wrestling with me, you rat soup eating motherfucker?
How do you know that's not what I'm doing right now?
Okay, that's fair. Let's get to some questions here. A friend of the show, Rajiv, wants to know, why was putting Heidenreich with Animal a hope that this pairing would bring some person?
What was his name?
Rajiv.
Can you spell it for me?
Rajiv. He's one of our big supporters over at adfreeshows.com. I know you pay very little attention there, but
I would hang on. I'm pretty sure you got that right, but I was thinking that was one of those names that you were trying to Southern pronounce.
You're a motherfucker.
You know how we do.
You know,
I'm Southern and I do the same thing.
All right.
I look at it and I think, I know it's probably not supposed to sound like this, but I'm just going to say it like it's spelt. And yeah, that'll get you in trouble sometimes. Nothing wrong with it. Be proud to be Southern.
Couple questions here. Was the real reason you put Heidenreich with LOD that you could get some personality out of Heidenreich? I mean, it really does feel like he's notable for three things. This is not Rajiv. This is me. Fucking Michael Cole against his will, being a terrible member of another failed reboot of Legion of Doom, and wrestling Doink the Clown at a Golden Corral. The Alabama Doink at a Golden Corral. That's what I know Heidenreich for. Is this more about giving him something to do? Chat me up.
Yes, it is. And it was just trying to add a little bit more dimension to him and hopefully give the audience a reason to care.
Interesting follow-up, though. Why not just start him here with the shoulder pads and face paint? It's the main part of the Road Warrior LOD presentation. Is it because this was a tribute match and they felt like it wouldn't be the right time or the right, tact?
I think more than anything, it was a feeling out process and just same type of thing, man. Let's see where this goes. Let's see how the audience reacts to it, and baby steps.
Ken wants to know, what was more regrettable, the Mexicools on lawnmowers or Kerwin White's catchphrase, if it ain't white, it ain't right? Of course, that's when you guys had, I even kind of forgot about that Chavo would become like a preppy golfer. You guys are doing some interesting stuff here in this era, to say the least. That's the most polite way to say it, right?
Yeah, to say the least. We'll leave it at that.
Mayhem wants to know, what does Vince say, or how does he respond when he's pressured by a sponsor or a network to do something that he might not agree with? Of course, this is born out of the whole Muhammad Hassan controversy leading into this show. What was Vince's reaction to that then, and would it be different now, do you think?
Well, I think that at the time with the network, it was bad timing and it was unfortunate but you had to make a move. That was something that I don't think anybody would have wanted. So you had to make a move and you adjust.
Charlie Thrower wants to know, not complaining at all, but why was Tori Wilson used on both the 04 and 05 promotional poster? Just to catch you up what we're talking about here, the Great American Bash in both 04 and 05 features Tori Wilson. And one of the responses is, well, Vince probably classified her as the All-American Girl. Is that it? Vince just thought she had the All-American, or someone in promotions thought,
probably coincidence more than anything, but I think that Tori Wilson would be a great, representation of the Great American Bash anytime. So yeah, she does look like an All-American Girl and extremely attractive, and why not?
Brian Wiseman wants to know, I know how to get a John Deere riding mower, but I haven't yet been able to find a Juan Deere riding mower. Do you remember where you guys got yours from?
Yeah, riding mowers, riding lawn mower, Ron, whatever the fuck you said, are us. It's in the phone book.
Adam Leeson wants to know, how underrated is Joey Mercury? Of course, he's part of the M&M tag team. I do think Joey Mercury was one of those guys who was maybe born 10 years too soon. I mean, he was a tremendous wrestler, bell to bell.
Yes, he was. And had he, been 6 inches taller, as the saying goes, he probably would have had a much different career trajectory. But I think that Joey was one of those talents that could do anything.
Here's an interesting question. And I don't know that we'll have another chance to fit this in, but it's awfully topical right now. Ross wants to know, you've mentioned that Vince has been a longtime Redskins fans. Do you know if he has an opinion on them changing the name of the team? It just came out as you and I are recording this earlier today that it's just going to be known as, at least for now, the Washington Football Team.
I like that. It's original.
I mean,
I don't. I have not discussed it with him, and God knows. No, I haven't.
Paul wants to know, with all he's accomplished both in and out of the ring, I have to ask, how big's Batista's legacy?
Well, Dave's a Hall of Famer. There you go.
Carl wants to know, audiences change over time and their tastes do as well. What match from this card do you feel 15 years later should be rewatched because it holds up the test of time? I mean, it's got to be Ray. Yeah, it's got to be Eddie. Phil Snowden has a challenging question for you, because I know you're going to struggle to give me a real answer, because that's just how you roll. What was Bruce's favorite bra and panties match?
The last one.
It was time for it to go away.
I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. At the time, I don't think anybody really, I didn't really think much of it, but now it would come off like, wait a minute, what are we doing? It's just weird how much all of that has changed. You knew we were going to get a bunch of these questions. Jono wants to know, what did Bruce think of Hollywood Nova / Simon Dean? It's been written that he had an attitude problem. And of course we know that he's done some shoot interviews where he was not too polite to you. What did you think of Hollywood Nova and or Simon Dean? Either one of those characters. You don't have to answer about the man.
And I'm really not saying this to be mean or to, anything else, but which it always confused me. I never really had that much interaction with him one way or the other. So I don't know where his feelings come from. Mine are indifferent from the standpoint of I didn't deal with him enough to really have an opinion.
Tons of questions like this. This one from Troy. He says, WCW had some great, well-known pay-per-view brand names. Obviously, Great American Bash was one of them. But with that same name recognition, why haven't we seen more? Starrcade, perhaps the best known, was only really used for house shows, and we've never seen a Slamboree or a Halloween Havoc. Do you know if there was ever a push for a Halloween Havoc to bring that brand back? Because it was one of the marquee events for WCW.
Well, I'll tell you, this is crazy, but one of the suggestions early on for an October event was a Halloween event, and one of the names, and I'm going back to before we had like monthly pay-per-views and things of that nature, was to do a Halloween show. One of the names was Halloween Havoc. That always just struck me funny that WCW ended up doing it a few years after that. But this had to be the second, no, it had to be the third. It had to be the third Survivor Series where we're talking about what other things, can we do pay-per-views around, and Halloween was one of them because it was looking at a weekend, not doing it on Halloween night. No, because that'd be horrible and not good to do. But what if we did it the weekend of, and you had for example, Halloween being the Friday and you had it the Sunday before type thing, Halloween Havoc. But I think it was a great name, and just, I don't know, for whatever reason, never really did it. Halloween doesn't translate worldwide. And it's
that's interesting.
Great American Bash doesn't translate worldwide.
That's a great point.
So, those names are something that you have to consider that when you're looking at, a global territory and being able to look at what you can sell. You can't sell a Great American Bash all over the world, and you can't sell a Halloween Havoc because they don't know what it is. So that's, I know for Halloween that was it. Great American Bash, hey, we've done them around, tried to do them around 4th of July and things like that. But the reason it hasn't stuck is because it's a tough sell globally.
Well, that's great insight, and that's going to get clicks everywhere. So, everybody link the podcast when that goes viral. Evaldo wants to know, can Bruce confirm if the original plan for Hassan was for him to go over Taker and beat Batista at SummerSlam? I've always heard that rumor over the years. And I think the person behind the character, Muhammad Hassan, has laid out that that's what he believed was going to happen too. He would beat The Undertaker and then win the world title at SummerSlam and have a run as a heel champion, get some more heat, have babies chasing. I mean, that's old school wrestling. Do you remember that being a preliminary idea?
I remember having talks of, hey, what could happen? But no, this is definitely what's going to happen. No.
It's such a fascinating character. I hope that folks go check it out and listen to our old episode about him. Harry wants to know, was there ever a discussion about JBL possibly winning against Batista, or do they think it would be too soon to take the belt off of him?
Too soon. Way too soon.
Gurnick wants to know, why was Muhammad Hassan not just moved back to Raw? If UPN wouldn't allow him on their station, you still had the opportunity for USA, or did Vince ultimately think that the heat was too great and it was best to just do away?
I think that stink would have stayed on him.
Rory wants to know, was there ever any thought to bringing back Paul Ellering to manage the quote-unquote new Legion of Doom?
That would be no.
What about that fucking puppet? Why didn't y'all get that?
Hey, Rocco was over.
Can you believe that they're making a Paul Ellering action figure right now with a Rocco dummy?
And it will sell like crazy, I'm sure.
Dude, I mean, I don't even collect action figures, but I kind of want that shit just to put on my shelf.
Who doesn't?
No one will know what it is. It's tremendous.
It's not true. Everybody knows Rocco.
Taryn wants to know, where in the world did John Bradshaw Layfield get that American outfit?
American Outfits Are Us.
Boy, I like when you I don't even have to have you for the show anymore at this point. What I can do is I can just have sound bites, and I can have
and then you can hear me saying American Outfits Are Us. And you put that shit together, it'll be like fucking magic.
It's possible. And I'll be honest, it's magic that we got this show done in time with all that you got going on. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to make it happen. We're working hard to entertain you guys. Hope you're digging what we're doing. We're also going to be cranking out some bonus content for you. You can get shows like this early and ad-free over at adfreeshows.com. Coming up, we plan to watch some Old School Global. We've got a bonus show with Jacques Rougeau, and of course a bonus episode on Miss Elizabeth. Stay tuned. We've also got SummerSlam 1992 and the Texas Tornado. So much great exclusive content coming to adfreeshows.com. But next week, you'll get that very special, at least to me, July 28th, 1990, Saturday night's main event. I love the Ultimate Warrior working with Rick Rude. I love SummerSlam 1990, a little tribute video to Hulk Hogan. I'm at the height of my fandom. I hope you're as excited as I am. You can hear that show early and ad-free over at adfreeshows.com. If you've got a question about that show, you can ask it right now at Prichard Show on Twitter. He is at Bruce Prichard, and I am at Hey, it's Conrad, and we are out of time. Until next week, we'll see you right here on Something to Wrestle With. Bruce Prichard.
Rock on.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.